Hi guys, so today I wanted to show you a little bit of how it looks, my normal commute to my workplace, which is the Danish Technical University. And yeah, first I'm dropping off the trash bag, but yeah, so I thought of doing this video and just show you what I usually look or what I usually encounter, in my way to work. I'm trying to fast forward the videos I usually do because otherwise it takes a long time. But yeah, so I hope you enjoy and yeah, just let me know if you want to see something in particular, or maybe I don't know how to get to some places, or I don't know, or just leave any comment if you would like to know more about anything, any of the things I usually encounter on this normal commute. So actually, when I was getting off of when I was leaving my home, I could see this. I don't know if you see it right now. I will put a picture of it, but normally, you can see some accidents in Denmark because there are so many people that actually bike, and commute in different places. So it's not uncommon to see some accidents. That's why you have to be very careful and be mindful of others, because if you make a mistake, it can lead to people getting hurt, especially if you go fast. And especially in my case, because I'm using this electric bike, so usually you can be a little bit faster than the other bikers. But yeah, so I didn't stop to help him because there was already some people helping him, and Danes sometimes get overwhelmed if there are many people around them. So if I see that people are already helping someone, then I usually don't get involved if I don't see the need of it. And so this is actually Sydhavn, so it's the south part of Copenhagen, and what you will see next is actually one of the biggest malls that we have in Copenhagen. It is called the Fisketorvet. Don't mind my Danish, it's really bad. But actually you can encounter many shops there, and yeah, it's basically the mall I go to if I need anything in particular that I cannot find in the supermarkets. So yeah, and it's really nice. Maybe one day I can show you the inside, but yeah, it's big. It has all sorts of stores. It also has restaurants and a cinema. So it's a nice place to go and shop for clothes and so on. Yeah, however, I'm a bit scared. These days, because a lot of people still go to the malls, even though we have the corona all around. So I try to stay away from these places where you get a lot of people in the same place, right? I just try to. And here I almost run over this old guy. They have to be very. Taxi drivers in Copenhagen, I'm sure that in many other places, are a bit reckless sometimes. So I've actually had almost crashed into several taxis because most of them don't follow the rules, and yeah, and they also get angry at you. So you have to be careful. Usually in Copenhagen I don't have too much trouble, with people, because they often don't like to get involved into problems. So if they make a mistake, they usually say I'm sorry and so on. But yeah, I actually had some experiences that were not so good. One time one truck actually pushed me out of the road because he didn't look at the mirror, and he basically it was a soft hit, but still, I mean, I almost fell off my bike because the truck just basically was changing lanes, and he didn't see me, and he hit me a little bit with the back part of the truck. And then one other time I got hit by a car and this is the most common mistake that cars do here in Copenhagen. So usually in a corner, the car is responsible of seeing if there's no bikes going their way, especially on the right side of the car, and because they have to see that there's no one coming for them to make the right turn. And this guy didn't check that I was coming his way, or I wanted to cross the street, and he basically turned right and then hit me with the car. Actually, that was the worst one, because the car hit me in the leg, and it got like swollen bad, so I had to go to the hospital and get it checked just in case it's not broken. And here this is the Danish architecture center. I mean, for my taste, I mean, it doesn't look that pretty, but I guess it's a different architecture, so it's a bit creative. So it kind of looks cool, but not very pretty, I mean, to my taste. And what you see there in front, this is called the Black Diamond. This is actually a library that you can go into, and they call it Black Diamond because on the sunny days the sun can get reflected, or the building kind of reflects into the canal, which is on the right side, and it forms kind of a black diamond in the water, if I have understood it correctly. So this part is very beautiful. You can see that I mean, today is very cloudy, so I tried to find actually the best day to film it, but Copenhagen in the winter is really difficult. Most of the times it's cloudy or very dark or raining, so this is one of the best days I could film this so far. So actually this part is really nice. We are getting close to the center, and there are many canals, and you can take these boat tours and so on that can show you the different parts of the city from the canal perspective. So it's really nice. I can also make a video about that later, just showing how it usually looks from the boat. But yeah, I mean, as I was saying, I mean, you have to be very careful, especially this. As you can see, I mean, the cars turn right here, so some of the traffic lights actually stop the traffic of bikes, so that cars can turn right. But there are some traffic lights or some intersections that don't have these bike lights, so usually just follow the normal car traffic lights to stop and go. So if that is the case, then you have to be, if you're driving a car, you have to be mindful of the bikers or the people biking. So this is a very touristic part of Copenhagen. So here you have many hotels and restaurants, and actually we will come close to it, but on the right side this place is called Nyhavn or something like that, and it's basically the most touristic place in Copenhagen, because this was kind of the old part of the city where the boats would come and give the merchandise and so on. So it was kind of the to-go port in the old times. So it was a very important place. So a lot of restaurants and hotels now take place here, and you can see some very old boats that are actually very, very beautiful. It's actually a very nice one, but normally they are like normally there is a lot of tourists around those areas, so I try to avoid that, because I don't like being surrounded with by a lot of people. Another thing that you should be aware of when you're biking in Copenhagen is that some cyclists they get very competitive. So if you, for some reason, you go a little bit faster and then you pass them in the bike road, then they will try to go ahead. And yeah, actually this was the intersection where I got hit by the car. Just for you to know. But so they will try to challenge you and try to win, even though there's no competition, or at least I don't compete with anyone, but they feel like I compete with them. So yeah, that's a bit weird, but it's something that you have to understand. Yeah, and also as you saw, there are some people that don't respect the red lights, and even though there were some people crossing the zebra path. Usually when you only have this the traffic lights for cars, I mean bikes are allowed to go over, but of course you have to be careful that there's no people on the zebra walks, because yeah, I mean of course they have the preference. And this on the right was actually the King's Garden. So it's a very beautiful park, and next to the park there is a castle. It's called the Rosenborg Castle, where you can buy a ticket, go inside, and then you can see how it looks. But it's really interesting because in the basement they have this vault, so they have all the jewelry of the kings and queens and so on. And to the left of that park, so in front of it, in the intersection you saw before, it's one of the most busiest stations, train stations actually. It's called Nørreport. So there's actually the metro, the trains, and some of the bus stops all end up there. So it's very busy. There's a lot of people, and during the rush hours, very early in the morning, when all the people go to work, and also in the afternoon when everybody gets off work, it's really hectic, and yeah, it's a place you want to avoid if you don't like people. Yeah, especially during these times. So yeah, and here in front, actually in front of this, I don't know if you can see, but there are some water. I mean, they are called the lakes, but I think they're artificial. Maybe they are artificial now, but back in the days they were like natural. I'm not very sure. I will look into that later and will confirm in the next video. But yeah, it's a very beautiful place to come and have a walk because it's really peaceful, especially on the weekends and in the mornings or in the afternoon. And if it's sunny, it's really nice to walk around these places. So yeah, I would recommend. Also, there is a lot of swans, swans, ducks, and birds that usually you can look at. And I mean, you're not allowed to feed the birds, actually, I think. But yeah, they are nice. And of course, many people feed the birds, so you will see them getting near the people, and you have to be careful with the swans because they can get a bit aggressive. So there are stories here in Copenhagen that actually some swans, took the fingers out of kids or something like that. I heard something like that, but I don't know if it's true or not. Yeah, so I mean, we're getting kind of half of the way to one of my workplaces, which is the university. So here I basically turn left, and yeah, and the lakes actually extend for quite some area. So I think there are 4 or 5 of these lakes. So it really makes a nice walk, in the afternoon, if you just want to chill and have some air. like it's a really nice area to walk, and as you see, I mean, many people also go to this area to do exercise, so they usually jog or run around these lakes. And then the tall building that you see in front, that's actually one of KU's building, one of the newest buildings of the University of Copenhagen. I actually have been on the top of the floor, and then you get a really nice view of a panoramic view of the city. It's really cool. It's one of the highest buildings in the city, I think. And to the right, you have the Rigshospitalet. Yeah, so it was the hospital I wanted to go to when the car hit me, but it's only made for very traumatic accidents. So if you have been to, in a serious car accident, then you usually come to here. And yeah, I mean, it's very cool, but I mean, it has also a heliport on top of the hospital. So from time to time you can see, these huge helicopters like landing on top of the hospital, which, I mean, it looks very cool, but of course, I mean, it's sad because maybe it's someone that really had a nasty accident or something like that. So I mean, it's not something that you don't look forward to, but if you see it, I mean, it looks kind of cool. Yeah, maybe I will make another video in the yeah, this was very funny because if you look at the two girls in the bicycle, they are trying to ride a bike, and actually this is illegal in Copenhagen. I think you're not allowed to do it, and if a policeman sees you doing this, I mean, you usually get a fine. And fines are not cheap here. It's a really expensive country, and you pay a lot in fines as well. In all my 4 years being here, I just got one fine, which I'm not proud of, but yeah, that's how life is. And it was 750, I think, or 800 crowns, which is, how much is that? It's close to maybe 90 euros or something like that. So it's very, very expensive, 80 to 90 euros. So usually you want to follow the rules and, stay on the good side of the law. And yeah, so there are many rules actually for bikes in the city. You have to also have lights during the dark night times. So a front light which should be white and a back light that should be red. And I think, I mean, there are some really cheap lights that actually they are not allowed. So there is something to do with the intensity of the light. So they should. There are some standards for this, but most of the people just buy, the very cheap lights, and most of the time is fine. But usually policemen would stop you and say, no, you have to get proper lights. But they won't fine you if you have these cheap lights. But if you don't have any lights, then it's different. They actually can fine you, and as well it's close to 90 euros, so it's not cheap at all. And yeah, something else that you should be aware is that policemen also can check, I think, your brakes. So the bicycle should be fully functional, and safe. Otherwise they can also fine you. And if you are not doing the different signs you have to do for stopping or turning to the left or to the right, you can also get a fine. So, and well, to end the suspense, or the yeah, I actually got fined because I rode my bike through this zebra path, yeah, I mean, I did it because I actually saw no one, so there was no one in walking around, you know. But and I was getting late for a meeting in the university, so I mean, it's not an excuse, of course. It's bad to do it, and I shouldn't have done it. But yeah, I did it. And then, you know, a policeman actually jumped out of nowhere. So they were hiding behind an advertisement, and yeah, they were like screaming that I should stop. And yeah, they also had a motorcycle, so yeah, there was no chance to escape. And I was not, I didn't want to escape as well, so I fully stopped and I followed the orders of the policeman. And then I got fined and so on. And yeah, I mean, if you don't pay the fine, actually they send you a message that you will be called to court or something like that, which I didn't get because I paid the fine. And yeah, so right now we have actually, at this moment, we are in the outer part of the city. So from here it will be mainly the highway. You know, I will be riding my bicycle next to the highway. And yeah, since the video it's already too long and I'm, you know, a little bit more than halfway through, I think I will, you know, end the video here, and I will make a second part of the last, you know, section of my commute to the university. And yeah, maybe that's better, and I can also continue explaining many other different things that are very interesting to people that don't live here or are not used to biking, you know, to work and so on. Maybe I can go a little bit into, you know, the economics of it, if it's you know, affordable to take public transport, and you know, how much money I save by commuting by bike. You know, all these little things that, you know, sum up. So if you do the calculations, like in 4 years, how much you have spent like in public transport, especially in a country like Denmark, you know, it can be very impressive. So these are things to you know, note down and take into consideration. So yeah, I think I will do that for the next video. And yeah, just feel free to let me know, you know, if you have any questions about the stuff I have been talking about, or if you want to know something else in particular. Also, if you like the videos, or yeah, just give me a like, or also subscribe. I do this for fun, so I mean, for me it's a hobby, so I really like it. And yeah, I mean, I would really like to show people what they want. So if you want me to go to, you know, to some park or something else, I can also do that. Yeah, so see you guys, and hope you have enjoyed the video. Yeah, until next time.